My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at College of Charleston.
Good job. My name is David Robinson. I'm a proud son of Columbia, South Carolina. I was raised on the Southern values of faith, family, and treating others as you would like to be treated. I believe in the power of a handshake and the strength of one's word. As a single parent, I faced the challenges of making ends meet firsthand. When I heard the call to serve, I knew I had to act. I served my country where I learned that we are all in this together, regardless of race, color, or politics. Whether it was in Afghanistan or Arizona, I saw the power of cooperation. Now, I'm ready to bring that same spirit to Washington. Our nation's future depends on our ability to work together and focus on the bread and butter issues that matter most to everyday Americans, not sowing seeds of division. This November, when you cast your ballots, remember, it's about more than just politics. It's about sending someone who would truly represent all South Carolinians. I am David Robinson, and I approve this message. Hello, everybody. This is Dave Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. Just grateful to be here this morning, and this morning for some, and this afternoon for others. I just want to say thank you so much for joining in and being a part of this live. I know I didn't give a heads up notice on the live that I will be doing. These days, time have not permitted me to do so, so I try to do the lives as much as I can and as quickly as I can. So thank you guys for joining in on this Saturday. I know you have busy times with your family. I hope you do be able to spend time with your family, your friends. A lot of you off from work, so that's very important. Just want to say a little bit about Daniel. Daniel, of course, you guys who don't know about my son's story, my son went missing on June the 23rd of 2021. He's a geologist that graduated from the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. We're natives of South Carolina, but he went to the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. He graduated with honors. He took his career, his degree, his livelihood, everything he wanted to do, starting life off as an adult. I like what I like to say is leave the bird nest to start his own life and his career. As a geologist, he started off in Phoenix, Arizona, where he landed his first job ever in life with a company called Matrix New World. It's also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. They hired him on as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist, because his job entails that he goes into various well sites in various areas across the desert. You know, Arizona is a desert state, across the desert to assess groundwater. It's an important resource for Arizona, being that it's a desert state. His job in the company that he works for, job is to determine if these groundwaters can sustain life, can it sustain a community. So his job is very important for Arizona. With a very intelligent scientist that he is, definitely need him on board. He was out doing his job. He was out doing his job on June the 23rd of 2021. The story was that he was assigned to two job sites, well sites, and he went to the first well site to do some assessments of that first well site. From our understanding, he should have been there alone. No one wanted to give me to date. We don't have a full clear answer on that. But he was at this first well site where he took some pictures of logs. Then he was assigned to go to a second well site off of Sun Valley Parkway, Cactus Road, the desert areas of Sonoran Desert out in that area, in Buckeye, Arizona. His job was to meet another person out there named Ken, who works for a company called Weber Waterworks. and to meet him. They supposed to have met for the first time to work with him outside, out in that Sonoran Desert. From what the story was told that Ken met, he said he met my son out on Sun Valley Parkway because my son had never been out into this location before. And they had a conversation outside of the gate that leads up into the Sonoran Desert. My son followed him into that Sonoran Desert. They went 1 mile west, 2 miles north to get to a well site where, according to Ken, they had a conversation that lasted probably roughly around 10 minutes. They arrived at the well site around 9 o'clock. At 9:15, Daniel waved off to him and drove off to never be seen again. As you guys know, his vehicle showed up almost 30 days later on July the 19th of 2021. And that was found by a rancher who was there on July the 17th, looking to a ravine where his cattle runs down a ravine that leads into a corral where he's also have a meat company, so he looked for those cattle to come down to feed them, as well as I think take some to market. And the cattle hadn't gone through yet, so he came back on the 19th, and behold, Daniel's vehicle was lying in a 20-foot ravine that he was standing in, and it was tipped on the side. There's appearance from what law enforcement said once they came out on the scene. Their assessment was that that there was some clothing found in a pile 3 feet away from the vehicle, Daniel's vehicle. And also they found his wallet and some other items. But I wasn't alerted about this until over 24 hours later, when I was alerted by law enforcement that the vehicle was found. That was on July the 20th, that later that morning. And of course, the story of Daniel really happened then. But I can go back a little bit. As you guys know, that when on June the 23rd, also when the same date that my son went missing, my daughter gave me a call one evening, that evening, and she was really high-rated, upset because a gentleman came over to her apartment, asking if Daniel was there. She was puzzled because she never let this guy know. She didn't know the guy, and he came to her apartment, so they kind of freaked her out. And also, the fact that he was asking for Daniel, and then said he alerted himself that he's from Daniel's job, and that they haven't seen him since that morning. So my daughter called me, of course, and called me back here in South Carolina. Matter of fact, to back up, she was also in Phoenix at the time, Phoenix, Arizona. And of course, as a father, I had to make sure she was okay. First of all, emotionally, mentally. The second part is have someone to go with her to Dane's apartment. We did our due diligence. We called friends. I called Dane's mother. His mother and I are divorced. So I had to call her to make sure she heard from him. See family members, friends. We checked everybody, and no one heard from Daniel. So she made it to his apartment. She didn't notice his vehicle wasn't there. She didn't notice that you walk up to his apartment. His doors were locked, but his patio, he had a patio area, and you could see through the blinds. You could see inside his apartment. His lights was on, but there was no person or movement or anything in there. That was the most that we got. Being afraid that there could have been possible foul play because Dane is out of character to not answer his phone. No one have heard from him. So, of course, the first thing we had to do is try to get a welfare check. I did call the Tempe Police Department to get a welfare check. That call didn't go too well. Once I mentioned the word, they asked me when the last time you've seen. I told them it was out to some Sonoran Desert. Of course, I was doing my due diligence, so I was getting information. Once I said that, they denied the request to go out and to do a welfare check. The other part ended up coming to the welfare check is when I mentioned that as well. They shoot me off to the Buckeye Police Department. Say they should be handling a welfare check. Called the Buckeye Police Department. I was told that I had to wait 12 hours. I was a few hours short, so I had to wait and call back to report that Daniel was missing. Because by that time, they sent me over to the Buckeye Police Department. I realized it was over 6 hours that Daniel has been missing, and that is totally out of his character. Daniel would not go anywhere without mentioning that he's going somewhere. Even at a point, I can use an example. some time before he went missing, he went to surprise his sister out in California, and he started heading that way. But in the midst of that travel, he called and say, "I'm on the way." So that's the way he do things. He's definitely going to say something. He's definitely going to mention out that he's traveling. So, like I said, that really gave us an alert that something wasn't right. And at that point, that's when I needed that welfare check. But I had to wait the 12 hours. Got the call in. That's when the Buckeye Police Department decided to call Tempe and have them to do a welfare check of Dane's apartment. I thought the welfare check would consist of them going inside the apartment. It didn't. The law enforcement went outside the apartment, drove the parking lot, got out the vehicle, looked through the same blinds that my daughter did, and say they don't see anything wrong, and they left. So that was the stint of the of that apartment assessment. That took a long time, you guys, because I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but that took a long time because we had issues with the landlords who wouldn't let us in. So during that course of time, I had to do a lot of interviews. I interview all the neighbors, and I've been doing my investigation immediately. To the neighbors, I learned one neighbor that Daniel would hang out with to play video games with. Live in an apartment across from him. He also was a veteran who has a brain injury. And so I learned a lot about the neighbors. The neighbors upstairs above Daniel would tell me the type of people that would come in and out if anybody came in and out. And things like that. So I had to do my investigation, things that I was hoping law enforcement would start off with. But those are things I started off with. Was able to get the law enforcement to, like I say, do the welfare check. But then after that, once I got more information, I was talking to Officer Cruz on the 23rd of June. And, he alerted me that him and another officer would ride up and down Sun Valley Parkway and ride that area to see if Daniel was stuck on the road. I learned a lot about Sun Valley Parkway. They used to call it the road to nowhere because it's a really long road. It stretches out for many miles. And, so they rode up and down to make sure that, he was stuck on the road. But I can't go through the whole case, you guys, because so I'm limited on time. I have an engagement to go to soon. But I wanted to share a lot of some of the information about Daniel, about his case. And I just want to tell you guys, I am still fighting for my son. Some of you probably see some of the things I'm doing outside of my son's case, things I'm doing to help other Americans who are missing. And that is really important. That's why you see the QR code there, you guys, that say, please donate. That's because I'm running for U.S. Congress, and I'm trying to do what I can to make sure that we get some of these things done. I'll talk about that shortly. So you see the stuff on the screen. That's the reason why. And if you haven't seen me doing a whole bunch of lives, that's the reason why. I'm taking a lot of my time trying to get a campaign off the ground. So that's why you haven't seen me a lot. But don't think I'm not fighting for Daniel. I'm doing a lot, like I always have been doing in the background, working with law enforcement to get things done. That's why I'm telling you guys, I also need your help. So even starting off with that, I want to go to share some of these things that I am doing. And when I say share things I am doing, I want to definitely get you guys on board, and please support everything I'm doing, like you have always been doing. This effort to find my son, this effort to fight for Dan, to keep his case for becoming a cold case, is still heavily important. So having said that, I'm going to share a screen with you guys, and I'm going to talk about this first. You guys know about pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You guys go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You can find ways you can help. You can sign a petition. I really need that. It's very important. I'm going over kind of fast, you guys, so you can go back. Please help find Daniel. Sign a petition. I really need you guys to help me with that. Every time I talk to officials, I say, hey, I got S amount of people behind me. Volunteer to search. Whenever I have a search, I don't have a search schedule for now, you guys. But if there ever came a point to be there's been a search, you would utilize this button. It would take you to the search page. On the search page, it tells you how to get prepared for the search. I have some safety videos and things like that. And also, you guys, you also come down to flyer distribution. That's the reason I came on this page. I changed the page up. You will see the flyer distribution side of things would change. It would be where you can sign up for the search. All this will be different. Sign the search, but I changed it to flyer distribution for now. It's because that's what I'm working on, you guys. So if you need to help get flyers, you need to receive flyers, you can go on this page also. And I'm telling you another a way you can do it as well. But you can go on this page, you can request these flyers, put your address, all your information there, and I have flyers sent out to you. That's also a way to help me in my efforts. The other thing, you guys, this events tab that was blinking just now. If we have an event, so I had like the Day of Remembrance to help, help other families that's out there who have missing loved ones. We had a lot of events. The Day of, like I said, Remembrance. We have the candlelight visuals, things like that to help out in Arizona to bring light into other cases. Donate, but definitely need donations when it comes to flyer distributions. That's what I'm having right now, you guys. It's very costly to get the flyers, keep the flyers going, and keeping them supplied and things like that. So that helps me right now currently. Also, volunteer in other ways tab. If you guys want to volunteer your services, where you may be great at advertising to whatever your skill sets is, and that can help towards my efforts to find my son, or to help find with other missing Americans. This is where you can put your skill sets and ultimately print the flyers. This is another form of donate. These two are too exclusive to me because donating is printing these flyers yourself. The PDF will come up where you can download the flyers, print them, and get them out into your community. That's very important to my efforts to find my son, to keep his case from being a cold case. Also, you come down and this is the one of the other things. When I'm going out to talk to law enforcement this coming month, coming up the first part of next month, you guys, this is important because you guys have constantly been sitting in these picket signs. You guys can see it with the picket signs. Y'all have been sending them in. I truly appreciate you guys who have been doing that. It's been happening a lot. I don't know what happened to my little area, but you could have saw a little sample of the picket signs that should have been up there. But these are the picket signs here. You guys have got 5 of them there. You click on them, and the picket signs will come up. Click on one so you guys can see what it looked like. But they would come up. The picket signs. What I'm trying to do is get them mailed in as often as you guys can, as much as you can, because it's very important to get them in there. That keep Daniel case from becoming a cold case. It shouldn't be a cold case, you guys. All thing I'm doing, the reason why I have this meeting with law enforcement, again, they had to do a full workup on forensics that I've been asking for over 2 years now. It's going on 2 years, you guys. And also, just the everything that would lead up to having more leads. If you ever hear law enforcement come out about Daniel's case and say, we don't have no more leads to follow, it's a lie. Because they're not looking for leads, and the leads is right there if they would do the work. They need to get the work to get the answers that we look for to find my son. The Buckeye Police Department Chief Sanders, you guys can send the picket signs there. Also, the Sheriff Skinner, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I need thousands of these flyers going out every week. That is very important. That's a very important mission for me to make sure that my son is being represented correctly. Like I said, again, it's far from a cold case. His case is not a cold case, and I want to make sure it's being treated that way. We got to make sure that it's happening because if we let off the pedal, then give law enforcement room to call it a cold case, you guys. But we have to keep them on the job, and the way you keep law enforcement on the job is to constantly keep engaging them. You have to engage and let them know, hey, look, the public interest is still here. It's not going anywhere. David Robinson, he's not going nowhere. His father's going to keep fighting for his son. Running for Congress is another avenue that I'm doing to look out for my son, and also in the process of that, looking out for every American out in the country who is missing. And the way to explain that really quick, you guys, is I have done a lot of meetings. I have been, you guys know, like when I say I've been working in the background, that's what I mean. I did a lot of meetings with the telecommunicating companies, where the T-Mobile, Sprint during the time, AT&T, you name it. I was able to work with some of the senators out in Arizona, and to be able to sit down and have conversations with these communication companies, and also these meetings. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about their policy, their private policies, and how they can hide behind these policies that cause things like not being able to get cell phone pings that I still don't have to date, where my son's phone was located when he went missing. The data from Uconnect when that those things could have showed where his vehicle was. All that information is lost. And then also the retention time with these companies, they can say, hey, we don't hold these things, but X amount of time, we don't have it anymore. And everybody know that is not true. Whenever you put in things digitally, it's always there permanently, right? And so we want to be able to free all those things up for Americans and their families. and get away from all this red tape where law enforcement say, hey, I cannot get cell phone pings for your son because we need a court order, we need a judge sign off, we need a warrant. And you shouldn't have to do that when the data belongs to you. Everybody who have cell phones, for instance, every time you use your phone, the locations, the how many times you called, or who, all that stuff that's collected and things like that, that is your data. You pay for that every month. If you pay your bills, you pay for that every month. That is your data. It should not be denied from you, right? And so we're going to make sure that's free to the public. Give the power back to the people who own those data. And so that's what I'm running for Congress. One of the things I'm doing when I'm running for Congress, and make sure, like I told those communicator companies that gave me a hard time, don't worry, I'll be back on the back end, and that's the way I'm coming back on the back end to make sure those things are being handled correctly. Right now, far from saying that, you guys, but I need your support. And that's why I need your support. So you see this donation button anytime you guys can. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 20, whatever you guys can donate. I really need to need the donations, because that's the only way I could be effective. That's the only way I can win my race. I need to get there in Congress to do the job, and I need you guys' support. Also, I just want to go into let's see here, something that I wanted to touch on, and I want to make sure I don't miss that. And that is the missing American rate. And I want to keep correcting myself when you guys hear me say missing person. No, we need to continue to say missing Americans, because we know who our people are. We know who's missing, and it is Americans. We cannot downgrade our Americans that go missing. We go missing for various reasons. A lot of it is domestic violence. We don't talk about that enough. That's one thing I'll be fighting for as well. People, domestic violence. You have a lot of women go missing because of domestic violence. A lot of people don't tie those two things together. Human trafficking is another thing, you guys. A lot of people go missing. A lot of people don't just vanish. People don't have to say, we always contributed to, they just ran away, or they just want to go, they would just want to be away, like they said about Daniel. He just wanted to be away from his family and join a monastery, become a monk or something. We got to get away from that. No, these are Americans that are going missing. People don't just disappear. We have 600, 750,000 that go missing every year. 3,500 people go missing every day. Someone missing right now as I'm speaking, and 2,000 of those 3,500 are children. And so we have to really buckle down as Americans and stick together. And I know we're in a climate of division, and that's all we hear. If you turn around, it's the Democrats against the Republicans, this against that, and blah, blah, blah. And we're all Americans. I have seen that in Arizona when I was in that desert. I have never seen once we was out there talking division. We was out there looking for Daniel, and I really appreciate everybody who's out there, but it went beyond that, you guys. We became like a family. That's why I call everybody out there my extended family, because they took their time, their gas, their money, their time, their efforts, and their safety as well. You're out there in that desert, 118-degree weather, and it came out to help me locate my son, looking for Daniel, trying to rescue him, coming out every week diligently for 49 weeks, 35,000 acres of land, people out there supporting my efforts, you guys. And these are not people, these are just Americans. They're like missing Americans. They're Americans as well. And nobody care about anything. They don't care about your race, didn't care about your political ideologies, etc. Nothing. Everybody's got, and that's the power and the strength of Americans work together. Because when we did that, we brought closures for other families. We found human remains when law enforcement didn't. Can you imagine law enforcement in the area where Daniel's vehicle was found, right? And they claimed they had cadaver dolls, all these dolls and helicopters, and law enforcement, this and they claimed, which we already know is not factually true. But they claimed it was out there, and they was out there in that area, and they didn't find a human skull that we found a few hundred feet away from where the vehicle was found, for instance, right? Bring a closure for somebody else's family, because they wasn't really looking. And I'm saying, when Americans get together, we do things together, we make things happen. So I'm saying my job as well is to get in Congress and try to do everything I can to get rid of this division. So how someone can come in, somebody else can come in and try to bring people together instead of pulling people apart. Yes, we have to come in, and a lot of times you come in as identified, like I identify as a Democrat, for instance, but that's not who I am as a person. I'm a person. I'm a human being. I'm a person who fought for this country, and I'll continue to do that. I've sworn in when I joined the military. That don't just go away when you retire out of the military. That's part of you, part of who you are, your identity. So again, you guys, the one thing is the missing person, missing Americans that we have in the country. And I'm going to show you something I have currently. I think I'm freezing up a little bit, but I'm showing you something I have currently that came up. And yeah, I have a little slowdown. So guys, if it's freezing up a little bit, I'm having a little freeze up here. But I'm going to put this on the screen, you guys. And this is a website that I went into where you can go. It's the World Population Review. You guys probably seen this before. I use it a lot. But you can go on this website and it can tell you how many people are missing just this year. And then you can see that the states who have the highest rate of missing Americans. And we have California at number one already. This year have just started. This is April, you guys. We have 3,362 currently missing out of California. We have 2,585 currently missing out of Texas. We have 1,744 out of Florida, Alaska, 1,272. So it goes down, you guys. Arizona, 1,055. So it just started, and I'm telling you guys, the numbers it goes up. It don't go down. It goes up. This is at the beginning of the year. Like I said again, you guys, over 600,000 to 750,000 Americans go missing every year. And like I said, this number is just now starting. The year hadn't even started. We haven't gotten to the middle of the year yet, and this number is growing. And this is every state. Every state. You guys, you can go if you want to find out who's missing. We have 270 in South Carolina alone, and this is my state. 270 missing alone. This state is not the biggest state in the country, and here it is. We have 270. So you go in there and you can check these things out. But one thing I wanted to also point out, you guys, and the fact is that you have people on the ground who's passionate about looking for missing loved ones. I mean, that's what they do every day. I was just talking to a friend of mine and telling her how people like her, for instance, that does a lot of work on the ground, and we never hear about them. It's almost like you never hear about a lot of missing Americans. They're out there busting their tail, trying to get awareness on missing person cases, trying to, and I would say the beautiful part is like it was when I was in Arizona, out there in that desert. I ran into a lot of family members out there who have missing loved ones of their own, but they're out there helping me search for Daniel. And I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. It's a club that you don't want to be a part of. You shouldn't have to be a part of, but we are. That's a family thing. People go out and really try, and they take their own pains to try to help other families. And you guys got to see the beautiful part of that. And I want to talk about one of those. Like I said, a friend of mine who actually out there doing the work that a lot of times we don't really realize. So I'm going to share this real quick. It's called the Missing Struggle, you guys. And I want you guys to really look at the name of this and remember this, the Missing Struggle. And definitely support her cause. And that's what she's doing. If you guys can support, you can go to her Facebook page. It's the Missing Struggle. And on Facebook. And look that up and follow her. When you follow her page, you can see a lot of things that she's doing. For instance, like I said, she's an activist out here working hard. And you go on the page here, you can see all the missing person cases here that she finds. I mean, she does this almost every day, you guys. You want to find out. If you guys can remember, I'm telling you, if you can, please share a missing person story, missing American story. Share a story, just one, you guys. It take everyone. I see on my ticker here, 200 some people watching right now. If you could pick one today to share, that means a lot to a family who have a missing loved one. You can easily just Google and say, go, like I said, here on the Missing Struggle page and pick one and share it on your page. Go to Black and Missing and share it on your page. Go to some of these other sites, Children Exploited Children, and share some of these missing American stories. And that means a lot, because what it is, when you do that, all it takes is one person to see that. It could be the right person and solve that case. Hey, I know this person, I've seen this person, I know something about it, or whatever the case may be. It can make the difference of a family finding their loved one or not. So if you guys can do that, again, like I said, you can go to her page right here, the Missing Struggle, and and join in, and share these stories and hear about these missing Americans that we have every day in this country. So it's a work that people are doing, like her, that's doing out here. But like I say again, a lot of times we don't, a lot of those stories don't, they become recognized. You know what I'm saying? So and the people that's actually doing the work don't hear about it. So definitely want to go ahead and do that, you guys. If you guys can, please, by all means, please share and please follow, these stories and share them out there. Again, the last thing, you guys, flyer distribution. Again, like I said, please help finddane.com. You get those flyers just like that. If you want to receive flyers, you can't print them out yourself from the website. Please help finddaniel.com. You can request them. You can request them. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. Request flyers. Send me information. Say, hey, look, Mr. Robinson, I would like to like a box of those flyers to get out into my community. It's very important to get these flyers out there. Daniel may be out there somewhere, or somebody knows something. His pictures right there on the flyers. Information. You have the QR code for those. If you're carrying around, somebody can use their phone to get to the website, as well as the tip line is on that card. So all the information is there. Everything needed is there. Only thing I need now is the army of people on the ground that would that help out. So again, all right. Thank you guys for joining in right now. I just want to talk about a few more things on the next side of things, and I'm going to start that really soon. And it's called part of the Warriors of the Mist, and the reason why I'm running for Congress. I want to talk about those. So thank you guys for joining. Again, thank you so much for joining in, and I really appreciate it. So hold on, Rika. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. My name is David Robinson.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have a search. Okay, I'm back. Thank you guys for watching that presentation. Again, I'm David Ross. For those who just joined in, the father geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, just here this morning. Like I say, almost afternoon for many, to share about my son's story. And right now, the first part I was talking about, his case. This part here, I'm also talking about the extension of his case and the reasons why I'm running for U.S. Congress. And I'm on here, you guys, and I know please help find Daniel. It's still part of my son's my mission to find my son, and that mission is extended to what I have to do to make sure those things are accomplished and things are done. It was a journey. It's a journey on that I would not wish on anybody, you guys. It's a journey on where my family and I went through hell, for lack of words. And from one day you're adjusting to life, and you see how beautiful life can be. You have successful children doing very well. You have one that majored in geology, the other in marine biology, to archaeology and computer engineering. And so, you watch that stuff with your children, you're very happy, and and life is seem getting brighter and brighter, especially in my circumstances, being a veteran from wartime veteran. You guys, I'm telling you, the stuff that veterans have to go through after war. Some of the things you guys have to always keep that in mind. That's one. But the beautiful part is when you get over those things and moving over to a better part of life, and then tragic can hit. So like I was saying, you guys, it's a part of something that nobody want to it's something that nobody want to be a part of. Is having a missing loved one. It can happen quickly, like it did in our family. One day out, the day it happened, I was actually in my favorite area at home. Daniel would know exactly where that's at. His siblings know where that's at. And I'm sitting in my home in that comfortable spot in my chair. They know not to sit in my chair when they come over. And get that phone call. And that changed everything. So what I'm saying is, the journey was hard. The journey is hard. It started off, especially when I had to travel out to Arizona, that 2,000 miles, not knowing anybody except my daughter, the only one that was there in Arizona at the time, and to try to find your youngest son, try to find your baby boy, I like to say. And it was hard. It was hard. But what made it a lot easier is the fact that we had thousands of Americans, like I said on the first part, that came together to help me out there in that desert. You count everybody up that been coming out desert, is thousands of people over the 49 weeks of desert searching, the 35,000 acres of land of desert searching, the countless hours of passing out flyers in Phoenix and Buckeye and this place and that place, so I mean, like literally going out, putting them on cars and giving them people, going to businesses. We're doing a lot. And but also for those who couldn't come out there in Arizona, live elsewhere, you've been donating and donating and donating and keeping it running and keeping it flowing, keeping the movement going. And I really appreciate that. So again, to get where we're at right now, you guys, the background of that as well is the fact, like I told you on the first part, is that families came out of everywhere, and they have missing loved ones of their own, and it was out there. They're sharing their stories. If you guys can hear the stories of some families who talk about their loved one who've been missing for 20 years, for instance, and speak about it like it happened yesterday. The pain is real. It never goes away. People say, I had a family member literally asked me this before: how long will you be looking for Daniel? And when they asked me that, Daniel only been missing for a month, 1 month. you know that's something that a family, first of all, a parent, couldn't even in their imagination even begin to even think about, like, how long will I be looking for my son? That don't even cross your mind when you're looking for your son. And time can go by. Of course, it wouldn't be feasible, it wouldn't be common sense for me, for instance. I wouldn't be like a hermit or something out in the desert, out there walking the desert for 20 years, looking on the ground. No, that don't make sense. So that's why my searches were very scientific. It was methodical. It was done in a way based on information, evidence, etc. Science, you name it, is based on all of that. That's why I was able to grid things off and do things by grids and actually have these areas search that makes sense, right? We wasn't out there searching the whole Sonoran Desert. That was impossible. We're searching, and people say, how long how 35,000, how it took 49 weeks. Desert is huge, and with the science of a person can walk or certain movement, the 11 additional miles, all that stuff is contributing factors, and it covers a lot of area out there, and we was able to do it. So um what I'm saying is, it's no time limit on the pain that a person suffers when it comes to missing loved ones, because you know what, we don't have a closure. Missing Americans, we don't have families that we don't have a closure every day. That's why you hear me say that, hey, help me get these flyers out there. Dang, out there somewhere. Despite of what evidence would say about foul play, I don't know what foul play really means in this case, but we definitely know there's foul play involved outside of what law enforcement want to say. And but what the definition of that foul play could mean a lot of things, human trafficking to you name it. And so having said that, I definitely get those flyers out there. But it's not a closure. One day you're thinking like, hey, what if my son's not here anymore? What if he is here? I need, so it goes back and forth, and it's something that's always in your mind. So um, I was able to talk to families all the time, and hear their stories, and it's impossible. That's why you saw me doing these lives and trying my best to get families on. You guys, I had a hard time, and I understand that hard time to get families to come on the lives. People don't want to be in front of cameras. People don't like to talk in front of cameras. It's hard for family members to talk about their pain. I can tell you guys, just because you guys see me on this camera a lot, out on news to whatever, it was never ever easy, and it's still not easy to tell that story over and over and over and over. Just keep constantly over this beat. It's almost like hitting yourself over and over again, just beating yourself in the sore spot over and over again. You got to tell the story over and over again about your loved one going missing and how it happened. You got to relive it every time you talk it, and it becomes that way until you become numb or something, right? And so families don't want to be behind cameras a lot of times to talk about their loved ones. It's hard because it's hard to even talk about it in the first place to law enforcement, for instance. But they do it, and then they back off a lot of times. So that's why it's hard for me to get family members to come share their story. So hey, look, we got to go share it for them, and you see the story out there. Yeah, share it on your page. That's why I keep saying it. Share it on your page because it helps out a lot. When people start sharing Daniel's story, it helped me out a lot. You saw what happened. I was working really hard trying to get Daniel's story out there for 3 months. It took 3 months, sadly to say, to get it really rolling well on local news. As a matter of fact, to get it nationally, I had to work 3 months for that to get it out there like that. And I remember like I said, the sharing that I'm asking you guys to do, it made a difference. I put a tweet up one night about Daniel's case, and a young lady, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she retweeted it with some effects of words that she said something to the effect of do you guys take the time out? I didn't know the Methodical case was going on at the time. I didn't know this, but this was when the Methodical case was coming out, and I didn't even hear about it. But I just noticed the lady did a tweet and said, did y'all take the time to even look at this case? For instance, this missing young man, and that blew up. That went viral. And I'm saying, you guys, your text, your sharing, your text message, to the social media can go viral and help a family out. It sure did. It went viral. It caused also at the same time I was sending, like I told you, my secret was thing to go into the celebrities' pages and hit them up. I mean, bombard them. When I say their pages, I'm gonna hit them. Like anytime I see the little blue thing sitting there, that's the ones I avoid because they're not gonna answer me anyway. So I go to the ones I don't see, and I mean that's their family. Look for ordinary people and keep hitting their family up. And the family member go tell this person, "Hey, have you seen this?" Blah blah. But the combination of all of that called Joy Reid on MSNBC to pick up Daniel's story. And I remember she was talking about white woman syndrome. It made a big old thing about it, but it helped. It helped Daniel's case to get to a place where it needed to be for any family should be. So what I'm saying is that sharing part is very important. And so and it's also the work. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm gonna go out and look for my child," and not try to help another family. So you guys help me. I'm helping other families. That's why the Day of Remembrance, I was telling you guys about the Day of Remembrance. There's an event I had it twice pull. One time I had to get canceled. The second time it went through. Went to Phoenix to have this big event for the missing Americans, and was able to. That's why I was able to meet Miss Nunez. You guys remember her, Jessica Nunez, her daughter Lisa, who went missing. That's why I first met her. She was able to come out to that event. Mr. Risto, his son went missing out there in Arizona. So I met a lot of families. To make a long story short, that were missing, had loved ones missing. But that event helped them. That event helped them get their story out. That event got them in touch with resources like the missing and exploited children and things like that. And so what I'm saying is, I had to do something. I couldn't just say, "Hey, I'm out in the desert. You guys out here searching for my son, helping me search for Daniel, and I'm not trying to do anything to help other family members." So I've been on a mission for that, passion for that as well. If Daniel was found a long time ago, he would be sitting right here with me. And I know the kind of person he's an activist. He's an activist-minded young man, and he would have been by my side helping me help find other missing loved ones as well. That's just the way he is. That's where I am. That's where our family is. So what I'm saying is, guys, this thing to come join to become a congressman in my state, it have a lot of parts to that. Of course, I'm one of those guys that before Dane would miss and sometimes even after. I'm one of them guys that was being sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm looking at who's representing you in your state, and I'm the one looking at television all the time, fussing and talking to family members about politics and this and that, blah blah blah, upset because certain things are not being done. I look in our communities and like, okay, I see this side of the town in the same district. This side of town looks this way, and then the other side look this way. The resources that I hear coming from the federal government is not reaching down to our communities, and that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. It's been a problem for me for a long time. But outside of that, you guys, I had my son missing. God have a way to put two things together. Just the fact of me fighting for Daniel this long, fighting for other Americans that's going missing, those combination of two things caused me to run for Congress, to make a mission to help families get the data and things they need to find Miss Lowen, to find out why law enforcement and what entities should be in all missing person cases. Another thing that I will be working on as well, because trust me, guys, I think law enforcement, I know law enforcement, looking at Daniel's case, for instance, look at some of these other cases, and I've seen, unfortunately, you've seen what happened. We have some closure in the Dylan Rounds case, for instance, but you've seen what happened with his mother, had to go through all this time trying to get those answers. And then you also look at Jelani Day's case, Carmen Day, his mother, where she had to go through just to get certain answers and certain things done for her son. And I look at how law enforcement, some that may want to do the right thing, just don't have the right resources to do so. They don't have the proper training. So some of those things a lot of those things and some things, all those things had to be addressed to why we have over 600, 700,000 Americans go missing every year. Those things have to be addressed and be taken care of. We should have departments within the department, law enforcement department, especially in states like I showed you guys earlier, California, Arizona, and some of the other with high missing American rates. They should have departments within the department. That's all they do is find missing person. They're not some Joe Blow, a law enforcement officer who going out to answer a cat in the tree call at the same time looking for missing person case, and at the same time trying to catch a bank robber. It should be specifically a department within that police department that specializes and only do missing American cases, and get the resources they need to get these jobs done, and have some powers to be able to get those cell phone pings and the XYZ. So all those things could be worked out, you guys. It just that have somebody in there to make sure that happen. In my state, for instance, I'm not going to talk about my state because I have a lot that I can say about. Like I said again, being 270 people missing already. You don't hear people. And another part is to the whole thing of Americans being missing. Out of the 650,000, we cannot forget 40% of those are missing Americans are Black Americans that go missing, and yet we make 13% of the population. That is staggering, you guys. It's something going on that need to be looked into as well, and we have to fight for that. So that's another statistic. We look at the indigenous community on these reservations. You have missing women and children, and women is going missing at a high rate. You have a lot of domestic violence and stuff like that. So I would love to be able to work with some of those populations as well to bring awareness to what's happening on these reservations and happening to indigenous people and women, and children. So it's a lot. It goes on and on and on, you guys. But I really need to get the Congress to do these things. I know I can do it. I have the ability to do it. God gave me the will to do it. But I need you guys' help. That's why the donation button is here, you guys. The QR code sitting on the screen. Please, you can go to davidrobinsonforcongress.com. A lot of avenues, you guys, to donate 5, 10, whatever you guys can. I really need the support. I need the help, and I am pitching for support. That's the only way I can win my primary. I have primary on June 11th, you guys, and I have to win my primary, and then I'll be going up against a constituent. I mean, a person that's already in office, for lack of words. I'll be going up against him, incumbent. I need to get to Congress, but I need this support. You guys, like I said, I really believe in this grassroots movement. You guys have been donating, like I said, when it came to me out there in that desert. I would never been able to put those billboards from the east side to the west side of Arizona, to doing all the equipment, to time out there in the desert, to the flyers, everything. You got everything that's happened the whole 2 years is because you guys been helping on the GoFundMe. You guys have helped me. But I need you guys right now. Of course, I can't accept donation off of GoFundMe for my campaign. You got to go through the @blue here. That's what the QR code is for. Go through my campaign. So we don't have campaign finance laws that we abide by. And so, guys, please donate anything you can. You guys, I really need that support, and I'm really pitching that really hard. I'm looking at the campaign, and we're not really moving the way I would like to see things moving. To get on the ground and do the work that need to be done, to be effective and to fight for missing Americans, and all those like Katrina Overstreet, like I was showing you guys early from the missing struggle, who's on the ground out there working. You guys don't get to hear about these activists that's on the ground doing their thing. But they're there. Trust me, I seen her work. Guys, I was fortunate to go to Indianapolis, Indiana, to meet with her at one of her events, and it's amazing. I'd say like this is amazing to see the work that people are doing on the ground, and it making a difference. I say making some real difference. They're actually finding people too. It ain't just saying, "Hey, I'm just going to put some on the screen." They actually finding people, finding missing Americans. So we need to keep continue to support those causes as well. Keep supporting those the people that's on the ground actually doing work. And so I'm asking you guys to support me in this efforts to help Americans that's out there, and those who live in South Carolina that's listening to me right now. I need your support too, because we need to get Joe Wilson out of there. What I'm saying, I live in that district, born and raised here in South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina. I've been living in District 6 and District 2 all my life. So I know I've been a single parent living under District 2. So I know the representations that's not there for our district. He's representing some, but not representing everybody. And so, you need someone that's going to represent everybody, who has a heart, who bring people together. We're not going to go out there and disrespect the presidency. I don't care who's in office, disrespecting the office of when I say the presidency, the office of the president. You don't go in the State of the Union, call president a liar, for instance, in the State of the Union, address. So, I mean, it's certain things you just don't do. And it shows kind of what the character of a person. So, the thing is, what I'm saying is, we need someone who's going to actually show representation of everybody. You know what I'm saying? And one of the ways you do that is you listen. We see the division that's happening in the country is because nobody actually listens to the other side to see what they have to say. Because sometimes you'll be surprised. Common ground is always there. It's like telling the truth and a lie. You tell somebody, one person say one thing to happen, the other person say one thing. All you do is put those two together, and you can find the truth a lot of times, right? And so they say it's always two sides to it. I would say it's three sides to a story. And because it's your truth, the other person's truth, and then there is the actual truth that you can get out of. So I feel that whenever you go bring people together instead of pulling apart, you can learn something. You can learn something from anybody. No matter what your ideologies are, as long as you come together and just sit there and listen. At least listen. That's the first step, right? Is to listen to a person to see what they have to say, and it may help. It may help. Say, I never seen that side of things. I never did understand that. So that's what I want to bring to Congress. That's what I want to bring from out of my state, is to unite people together, unite a common cause. Of course, yes, I'm identified as a Democrat. I've been a Democrat all my life. That's true. So I would not be able to digress from that. But I'm saying I'm also a person that brings people together, no matter what ideology, political ideologies, or religion, whatever. I'm able to do that. I've seen it, like I say again, in the desert of Arizona. I've seen it. I've seen it happen, and it makes me smile every time I think about it. I've seen true Americans doing true stuff. So that's what I'm hoping for, and to be able to bring along with me the 600,000 Americans that's missing, the grassroots movement that's out there from Arizona, and not just Arizona. Everybody who's listening to me now, who's part of the Please Help Find Daniel family, has been supporting for over 2 years. We're going on 3 years, you guys, and it's sad to say And speaking of that, people say, sometimes good things do come out of tragedies. And, this is a good thing. This is a good thing to come out of tragedy. For my family, it is a tragedy. For a lot of people who follow Dan's case, it is a tragedy. That's what's going on right now. And like I said, I'm not finished fighting for my son. I'm continuing to fight for my son. And this is what's happening. I have to go through the same pains I go through every day for Daniel. At the same time, you guys are seeing good things coming out of this tragedy. I really believe, somebody asked me that yesterday, about Daniel. I still, despite, again, I'm going to repeat this, despite of everything I learned about my son's case, I've been investigating on my own. Everything we know about Daniel's case came from my investigation. Law enforcement didn't contribute to one information that leading us closer, except one thing they've been pressing from day one when that vehicle showed up. They've been hard trying to, without evidence, saying that vehicle was there for 30 days, right? They wanted there for, they tried all kind of avenues to get it to a point of hiring a private investigator who never seen Daniel's vehicle. They wanted that vehicle there for 30 days. Everything that we found, the red transfer paint, the level additional mile to you name it, the stuff in the apartment, that came from my investigation. I hired a private investigator who got the information about the vehicle. I had also got information about this apartment. We also got information, the same information that Buckeye is using, for instance, for their own purpose that shouldn't be used because the owners say don't use it. The MalIQ app, for instance, they're utilizing that to bolster it. I gave them that information. They didn't go into phone. Look, we got a lot of things that's loose out there, but the fact I'm saying right now is that the efforts, you guys, everything that was done, everything we learned about Daniel's case came from everything I have been doing. And like I said, all this didn't happen because of you guys. All this wouldn't happen because you guys, if you guys wasn't there, you guys had help, and I really truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate the kind of grassroots that we have, and we're sticking together to find Daniel. You guys are keeping Daniel's case out there. You're keeping his case strong. I truly appreciate that, and I really need it, especially now that I'm running for office. And you guys see, I barely get an opportunity to do a live. I'm looking at time now. I think I'm running off now, but I barely get opportunity to do a live like I've been doing before. I want to try to build that back up, but trying to get this campaign off the ground is taking a lot of time. But I really need you guys, like the Mrs. Struggle. I need you guys to help me, on that front too as well. Just share a story. That's what I'm asking you guys, and that's something I would be doing. I've shared Daniel's story too. Share a story, share a Daniel story, share other family stories, share a story, because I won't hear less, and I want to have families on. I want to be able to share more stories and things like that. But the time is not allowing me to do a whole lot right now. But if you guys can do that for me, that'll help too. Along with, please help find Daniel, ways you can help. Just everything, you guys. I need all the support in different areas and different ways. That's very important to me. And, if you guys can help, I really appreciate it. One more thing, you guys, before I go, I want to do a prayer really quick. I try to do this, and I'm really afraid that I won't be able to do it if I don't do it now. I wouldn't be able to do it before the 23rd. Every 23rd of the month, I've been trying. I've been missing a few now. Try to make sure, because, it's prayer and fast for Daniel. Usually we do a prayer and we'll do a fast that day for those who want to join in. To pray and fast for my son, but also when I say prayer and fast for Daniel, it's not just for Daniel. It's for all the missing Americans out there, all those families who's suffering right now. And I'm telling you guys, right now as I'm speaking, there's 3,500 people that went missing today or going to be missing today in this country. That's the statistic that just rolls over every year, and that's a problem. So we're gonna pray for these families. I'm gonna say a quick prayer, and then I'm gonna have to go because I'm going to be late for something I should have been there in 15 minutes, and I'm not even ready for that. But definitely want you guys to pray with me, pray for these families. So right after this, you guys, this presentation, I'll go into a prayer. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for staying here with me. I'm gonna go straight into prayer, and I want to, you guys, anybody who want to join in with me, thank you so much for joining in. Heavenly Father, we thank you for life, health, and strength. We thank you for this day. We thank you for bringing us together as a people, as a community, as a grassroots. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for protecting us from seen and unseen dangers. We ask you, Heavenly Father, as we come together to bless all those missing Americans out there to be found, all the missing American families who are struggling right now. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to bless their heart, their mind, strengthen them, give them the wisdom, give them the direction to find their loved ones. Let's bring a lot of them back home, Heavenly Father. Show us exactly where they're located. Also, thank you for everybody who joined in on this grassroots to help me find Daniel. Been searching for him, putting in their time, their efforts, their money, their everything. I thank you, Heavenly Father, their hearts, their soul, their mind. I really thank them for everything they do. Bless each and every last one of them. You know their desires, you know their needs, you know their struggles. They have individual struggles of their own, but they take the time out to help other people. So I want to ask you, Heavenly Father, to bless them as well. We thank you for all things. Amen. So thank you guys for joining in with me. I'm sorry I had to jump off here. I'm late. So I just want to say thank you guys for being a part of this movement. Again, you guys, DavidRobsonForCongress.com. You can find why I'm running. Also, you have a QR code here on the screen for those who want to donate anything, you guys. It would help. I really need you guys to please to work really hard to try to help you guys. Everybody can give something. I really, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I really need it. This campaign need to get off the ground. This campaign need to get to rolling so I can do the work for the people and for you guys as well. For all those missing Americans out there, I really, really want to do that work. So again, you guys, I don't need to find my son. So please help you guys as much as you can. I really, truly appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything you have been doing. God bless you. I wish I could get in the chats. I see some chats, some comments in the chats. See everybody here in the chat section. So thank you so much again. God bless you. I wish I could put it up right now, but like I said, I had to have an engagement I had to take care of and I had to be there late, but I will be there. But thank you guys. God bless you, and we'll talk to you next time.